So if you're looking at our listing here for our washable pea pads, what do you think? How would you break it down?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of elements in the listing in the main hero image at first that are good. Areas of improvement are definitely can be done. What's the value prop? The value prop is that there's 3. So this is 3 large pads, 30 by 36. But in reality, we're showing the 3 pads, but we're not showing the number 3 large enough. So you want to have that number 3 almost be, like I have some Canva editing we can do over here. What you'd want to do with something like this is go in here into a Canva element. You just type in the number 3, and there you go, right? So we can take this and we can even change it to brand colors. So I can do the selector tool here, pull in the Jungle Creations green, and there we go, we have green. So now what you'd want to do is make this a little bit bigger, either to replace this and bring this down here, for example, right? So let's say we're going to change this around. So let's, what's the best way? Let's do magic tools. So we're going to go back over here. Let's go to edit. And let's go to magic eraser. We're going to go in here. And these are the AI tools from Canva. So you can just hover over what you want to erase because we want to make it a little bit more clear. So we just highlight that, hit done, and it's going to generatively fill. There you go, it's done.
Love that.
So now when I come back here, I have a 3, but there's no green on green doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that.
Make it white or something else.
So what you do is, well, you could keep it that green. You could just hit C for circle for a shape in Canva. Change this one to white.
Right.
And then drop it behind there to give that some substance so that this way you're going to go to position and then backwards. And now that makes a little bit more sense, right? So now, as you can see from the previous one, 3 is not that predominant. Now 3 is very, very clear in your face. You can even make this larger too to really sell home the fact that it's 3. And then you're going to talk about large pads, 30 by 36. You want to make that larger too because that's the value prop. So going down here, so we're going to say large pads, and the sizing was 30 inches by 36. 30 inches by 36 inches. Okay, so then same idea, right? That's a quote, that's not inch. So same thing, we want to bring this down. Canva's very finicky. You always have to, Canva's like a wild kangaroo that you have to tame.
That you have to box.
You have to box into submission. So something like this, right? Bringing this down. And sometimes with the sizing, you can bring out the value prop. So it's a little bit too long here. So what I might be doing is taking away the sizing component right here. Keeping it at large pads right here because it's still on brand for the color because it's green, white, and black. But this is a lot larger, no pun intended, to showcase that. So what we can do is something like this. And then the sizing we can put as a little sticker up here too. So Canva has those as well. So if you go to graphics and just type in round sticker, and it's peeling up with those little labels that look like peels. So it's always very cool to kind of add, especially in post editing here. So I think sometimes it'll allow you to change the colors. So you can see this is one graphic that you can actually change the color gradient on. So I can pull a document color over here like this, and then maybe we'll make this one, I don't know, black or something like that. So just give some different elements. And then you can come over here and then we can put that over here to really emphasize the fact that it's the size point, right? So we're gonna do, let's do this. And this gives us more room where it's not in one thing. So we could do 30 by 36. Now the sizing too is a little too big. We could scale that down. We could also clear up the spacing too, because you can see there's a lot of gaps with that spacing with that font. So letter spacing brings it all in like this to make it look just a little bit more pro. And then we're bringing it over here. So again, it's still a little too big, but what you can do is 30 Now we're gonna affect the line spacing. So bring the lines in like that. So 30 by 36.
Make a new text box with a tiny X.
And with a tiny X right there,
Yeah.
right? So that's an example, just a real rough edit of how you'd want to do that, because that speaks volumes of 30 by 36, 3 large pads, versus over here. 30 by 36 is much smaller, and it's not 3 large pads right in your face.
Right, so also just to clarify for everyone out there, so in this image, that is the real packaging that we have for our product. So in this example, is it right in saying that you're really trying to optimize for the click-through on the main image, and it's okay that this isn't exactly what the real packaging looks like?
Yeah, it's okay, but what you'd want to do is also, after you've done a post edit like this, in your next packaging run, you may want to affect that going forward to reflect what you're putting over here.
Yes.
So as long as you're putting things that are true and correct, then you're going to be okay. So
got it.
Now taking a look at this, another thing is we don't really have dogs sitting on anything, right? We have the dogs in the background over there, and we don't have the product wide open, and so you see the full kind of product view in the square or the rectangle. So what I often tell people to do is we have the images here, right? So you'll probably have the full assets. I'm working off of the Amazon listing itself, so I'm very limited, but that's okay. Bring this over here like this. Use my shortcuts, there we go. And then what you want to do is remove everything that is not going to be that bone one on the outside, because we're going to use that to showcase how the spacing is. Let me remove the background, number one. Got to do that. And then what we're going to do is take this and send it to the back. So remove this, position, backwards, 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 boom. So you could see that now I have this peeking behind over here. Now, you will see the 30 and stuff like that. We want to get rid of that because we don't need that to kind of showcase over there. So you'll have to play with the actual elements of it. I actually like how it sticks out over here like this. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this back to the front, and I'm going to go into edit, and I'm going to go to magic eraser. Yeah. And I'm going to erase these elements over here, because I still want to keep the context of the actual image because it's showing it open. Hopefully it does a really good job. It didn't. So that's okay. What we're going to do is still go back over here and bring this down over here. Because even at this, that's still giving you the context of what it is, right? The full open version of it. But again, when you have your own assets and you're actually doing it yourself, you don't have to worry about photoshopping or Canva-ing the stuff out of it. So now we're showing the product in full, we're showing the value prop, we're showcasing the 3 large pads, the sizing over here. Now you want to show a dog sitting on it. So Canva has that too, right? So a lot of times, people have it where it's fully open on the front and then the other items behind it stacked up. Right. So we do have some dogs over here, but let's go to Canva and we'll type in a Yorkie. Okay. Just type in Yorkie. Everyone loves to see cute dogs, right? So something like this. Background remover. Showcasing the dog. You know, if the dog's not aimed properly, flip horizontal, so now it's facing over here because it looked a little bit weirder over there. More pleasing. Yes. So now the dog can be sitting over here like this. Now what you also want to do is, technically what you'd want to have is, let's see this. Oh, I should have grabbed this image. This one was way better. Let's grab this one because I like that. Totally. One thought that came to mind as well, I've actually done some experiments in the past with an image of our mat all laid out, where I've used Photoshop's generative fill to add a dog, and that's actually done a really good job. Oh, really? Yeah, where it like adds the dog, but it actually does a really good job of blending it into the image. It adds like the little subtle shadows, and that's nice. So even, I mean, this is still really great, and we're doing this live, so you can see how quickly any of you out there that can get, a $12, $15 Canva account can do this. But yeah, also if you've got access to Photoshop, that also does a great job. All these tools are just so accessible now. Yeah, so I like this one a little bit better because I don't have to do all that kind of work. Yeah. So it's showcasing how big it is and all that kind of good stuff. So over here, you could do this. Now, interesting that you said the generative fill. Canva has that as well. So I can always go to edit over here. I can open the tools, which is here, and I can do magic edit. So what I can do is I can go here and I can highlight here. It's not going to be as good as Photoshop because I have seen the Photoshop one, right? And I could say Yorkie sitting down and generate. And Canva has built-in AI for doing all this kind of stuff, generative fill, magic grab. You grab an element out of an object, an element out of a picture, and the background generatively fills so it doesn't look like it was just deleted out of there, which is kind of cool. So we got some options. So we have this over here.
That's pretty good.
It distorted the background a little bit, right? It's all going to distort the background. This is, it's positioned good, but it looks a little too cartoony. Lenny, give me a different dog. Maybe we'll do...
I'm pretty biased. I mean, I lean towards the golden doodle, but actually, is there, you know, do you think it matters at this point? I suppose you, like in our instance, we would be wanting to find a dog that would typically fit the size of the mat that we're...
You want to go with like more universal stuff. So dogs that are rah-rah America, the golden retrievers, the black labs, the chocolate labs, the German shepherds. Here's a good one, right? So what we can do is...
He's coming out from underneath there.
Well, this one actually looks cute too, right? So he's coming out from that. This one doesn't look that bad. This actually looks pretty good. I'm not gonna... This looks pretty good. He looks a little sad, but this looks pretty good. So doing something like this, I mean,
it's not absolutely perfect, but like from...
It's better than not having it, and from the top end SERP, seeing the dog over there, it definitely does help. What you can do is you can also, you can't edit elements once it's added inside, but what you can do is you can open up another screen over here, and you can go to design, let's see, so you can go down to Magic Media, and Magic Media can insert things just from this. So you can go to photo, and let's say I want to type in realistic Yorkie puppy.
Great, so this will be its own separate element that we can manipulate and move around.
Because when you're adding the element inside as an edit, like a magic edit, it makes it one photo, and you can't separate the two. So the same thing over here with Magic Media, it's gonna do this. It's not 1,000,000%. It gets you, a real photo of a dog is always best practice, right?
Yes.
But something like this, it's cartoony still. But the reason I'm showing you this is when it's outside of this element, I can do things with it. So I can remove the background, and it's gonna take the background out. I can add shadowing, all that kind of good stuff, right? So now if you take this and you tone down the transparency and you play with the hues a little bit, right? It could look a little bit better. But again, nothing is really gonna replace an actual photo of a dog. So this would definitely help, even when you're showing, you know, multiple dogs like this that are small dogs or that kind of stuff, because you just want to see more dogs. People want to see the dogs. You guys have them over here in the background, right? But we want to see the happy, cute puppies in the front.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you a little bit more about this, because we only talked about the main hero image. So a lot of things over here in the image stack, protect your sofa. Protect your sofa from what? You're not explaining, right? Is the dog going to drool? Is he going to pee on the sofa? What is it going to be? But the biggest takeaway that I see over here is not talking about the us versus them. There's two different talk tracks of us versus them. There's us versus other reusable, washable pads, and there's us versus disposable ones. We just got a puppy ourselves. We got a Bernie Doodle, and he chews those disposable pads up like crazy, so we went and actually got reusable, washable ones. It's a problem for dogs when they're chewing that and they get it and they swallow it. It's not healthy. So I think we're not speaking to the pain point that's over here as if why not to use a traditional disposable pad? What's the pain that this is solving? We're not talking about, hey, stop buying pets. Stop having them around for your dog to chew on them. If they get wet and you slip on them, you can get hurt. Understanding this is something you'll reuse over and over again, right, for the life cycle of the pet. And I think that looking over here, whether waterproof material, right? Okay, but waterproof material sounds to me that it's not going to absorb the pee.
Right.
And that sounds to me that if dog pees on it, it's just going to run right off and it's going to fall on my floor. So we want to understand what we're talking about waterproof. Is it water absorbent? Is it not going to, like, what does that mean a little bit, right? Because if we're talking about a reusable pee pad, I want it to be absorbent. It's like a diaper. We want them to be absorbent. But, you know, perfect for protection of furniture, for the crate liner, for the feeding mat. Dog incontinence, right? I told you yesterday, this looks like a motor oil, right? So you want to show the real life stuff. So show a crate, show the dog eating, show that kind of stuff so people understand.
So specifically, are you saying use a photo, or are you sort of saying change the text? What is it that?
Yeah, no, I'll show you.
Here?
Yeah, so if you take this right here and you go over here, let's add this as a background. It's not going to be perfect, but if I go to circle frame.
Great, so we're recreating these.
Yeah. So going down here, you really want to showcase what we're talking about in each of them, right? So as opposed to just putting stylized icons, we want to show why. So I'm doing it pretty quickly. So now let's go down the list, right? So protection for furniture. So furniture, and this is all in Canva.
Loud, yes. Furniture, dog, and so we'd be looking at photos specifically. Cool.
Yep. Or dog on, let's say dog on couch.
Oh, yeah, there we go, boom.
Couch. Protection for furniture, because that's what's gonna happen. Crate liner, dog, crate.
I suppose, like, I can see already that feels more impactful than just seeing an icon.
100%.
Plus, I guess it means more opportunities to show different types of dogs, so that there's more chance that people looking at this will see, oh, that's my dog, and they can start to imagine their dog using this product.
Absolutely. So this is not a feeding mat, but it's hard to find a photo of a feeding mat, but let's pretend that's a feeding mat for the dog.
There's another use case, dog yoga.
Doggy yoga mats. And for dog incontinence, you don't want to show pee. That's gross. No one wants to think of old dog pee. So you want to do older dog. So you want to have the dog with the grayer face, the older guy, because that's the guy that's going to have those problems, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you want to focus on, and that's going to resonate when we talk about dog incontinence. Know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I can see immediately the difference between those two.
Yeah. I always have OCD when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, it has to be perfect. It can't be peeking out from the sides. But yeah, I always tell people, don't show icons, show the real thing.
Yes.
These are features, not benefits. Non-slip grip, that's a feature, that's not a benefit. A feature is a non-slip grip. What's the benefit? The benefit is I'm not going to slide across my house on a pee mat. My dog's not going to slide while they're peeing and get hurt.
Yes.
So we're talking about those type of pain points. When I take a look over here, so covers large surface areas compared to what? What does a traditional disposable pee pad look like?
Right.
I'll have that held up to yours.
So this is like an us versus them type.
Us versus them, absolutely. And it's never them versus us. You know why?
Because you want to, no, I don't know why.
Because it's us, we come first. Us versus them.
Okay, it was as simple as I thought.
It's simple. So waterproof, won't leak through the mat. So
yeah, so it's like it's absorbent, but it won't filter through underneath, or like won't wreck your floors, or I'm trying to think what the...
Do you have one here?
Yes.
Let me see one.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna ruin this one, sorry.
That's all right, we've got plenty.
So this, if I was to spill water on this, do we have some water, Lenny?
We can have some, actually we have some water.
Okay, so when we say waterproof is this, right? I'm gonna make sure we get none of the electronics wet here, right? That's not waterproof. You see how it absorbed that? Mm-hmm. Waterproof, when we say waterproof would just not absorb any of the water. So if I pour this water on here, that's getting absorbed right into the pad. If this was a waterproof product, the water would just bead right off. But I'm gonna touch it because it's not pee, thank God. But you could see here, it's absorbing into the pad like this. This is what you want. Now, if I was to read it on the description, it would say waterproof, That assumes to me if I was to waterproof something, water's going to bead right off of it.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I can't believe we missed that before, that we've got the terminology wrong. I guess what we did demonstrate this.
It didn't leak through. Look at that. It didn't even leak through. It's a solid product. Look at this.
That's the point that we want to make, is that it doesn't leak through. We actually have a video where we've got the mat and we've actually got Jake nervously waiting under it, and then we got someone to pee. No, we tipped water on the mat just to make sure that Jake didn't get wet.
This is not wet. I dumped half a glass of water on here. It's not even wet. But that's what we're talking. This part behind is waterproof. This is the part that's waterproof. It's not the other side. Because if I pour water on this, I'm guaranteeing it's going to bead right off. Because this is not the absorbent side. This is the absorbent side. So the reason I said that is because we can't say things like a waterproof when it's not waterproof. So you always want to be cognizant.
Yes.
I'm gonna put this over here.
Let that one air out.
So it won't leak through the mat. So, holding up the mat and showcasing that is a good thing. I would always like to make some outrageous claim where take 16 ounces of water and really see, and will it hold 16 ounces of water, and then make that outrageous claim, because you've done it, we'll hold 8 ounces of water, no leaking. We'll hold 16 ounces of water without leaking. And then those are impactful numbers that would help people.
You've just given me like a great idea for a video, like an explainer video where, let's say I'm there, I'm talking about the product, and there's literally a mat above my head with someone slowly pouring water for the duration of me talking about the product and how.
Not pee.
Not pee, yes, not pee.
Okay, just want to make sure it's clear. The other thing is that those are the photos. The other thing is the bullet points. I always tell people, don't use bullet points for the sake of bullet points with these emojis. Make your emojis meaningful. So if we're talking about practical, get the job done.
Some more customized.
Yeah, like this is a dog product, so there's a lot of dog emojis we can be putting over here, but there's more room for organic SEO. Because I think you have about 500 characters per bullet point over here.
Right.
So using some more SEO would definitely help. And you guys are a culprit of no brand story module.
Sorry.
So that's not good. Washable pee pads for dogs. Great photo, 3-pack, okay. But then when we come down here, value pack 3 colors. Why is it a value pack? When I hear the word value, I think of cheap. I don't think of a deal. I think it's cheap. So value, dependable. Why is it dependable? Cute design. Who said it's a cute design? Gets the job done. What's the job that it's getting done? Multi-purpose. What are the other purposes, right? So we're saying things, but we're not explaining things.
Right.
So showcasing practical, show images. No one's reading this over here. Show images of it in a crate in full size. Show image of it on the couch. I think we showed one up here, right? But we're talking down here, protect your sofa, multi-purpose. Give another tagline under here to what people are looking at, right? Also, what size are they looking at over here? Is this the smaller one or is this the larger one, right? So we want to give the expectations, because if I'm looking at 30 by 36 and this is not the 30 by 36, then I'm going to be pissed, pun intended.
No, yep.
So, stuff like this, these are all features. I think you guys have a solid product with this because we just tested the heck out of it. But I think that these are all features, no benefits. So what's the benefit of non-slip grip?
Right. I think you said it before. Yeah. Your dog's not going to slide. You're not going to step on it and slide.
Waterproof and
yeah, that's probably the big one we need to change.
And absorbent is the bigger thing. Absorbent and waterproof liner. Waterproof underneath. So I would almost rather you have
so like 2 separate things almost.
Well, I'd almost like this is a perfect call away for the non-slip grip right here, where I would say absorbent side, waterproof side.
Oh,
that's the way to do it, because you still want water. It is technically waterproof because it's not leaking out the bottom. So that is the layer that's waterproof.
Right.
But over here, it's the absorbent layer. So you have to be very purposeful with what we're saying.
Makes sense.
When we say cute design, who says?
We say.
But that's the thing, right? It's very subjective. So understanding that, you want to say very cute is just cute. It's just like, it doesn't mean. So you want to put neutral design,
or it's like matches your day, or matches like a wide variety of decor or something.
Goes with many different types of decor, whether the rugs in your house are gray or tan. Maybe if you're bringing one in the car for a long trip, it goes on the car floor. You have a tan car. These kind of things, right? Or muted colors. Maybe you don't. You're affecting someone who doesn't want to have these bright blue colored kind of thing, because that's a value prop as well.
Right.
Because otherwise, when people see those gross blue disposable, because they're always blue for some reason, blue disposable ones on the floor, that's an eyesore. Where this, it's blending in with your decor because it's not a bright blue with a white, and it's blending in. So we don't want to say cute design, we want to talk about that aspect of it, how it's not an eyesore.
Could that be sort of an us versus them type photo where there's our nicely blended matte in the living room versus like this very obnoxiously loud matte somewhere else, or the ugly blue disposable, I guess.
100% that you definitely want to do that. But for anything we're talking about multi-purposing and practical, dog incontinence, showing the older dog, food and water mat, show all these things so people understand. And if you don't want to do it all over here, the brand story module is a cool thing to talk about the collections. Even if you don't have a million different SKUs and you don't have a storefront full of ASINs, you can put up to 19 different modules. So you can put a lifestyle image for an older dog, perfect for dog incontinence. It goes to that same ASIN. Then you have another image in the brand story carousel where you're talking about, perfect for food mats, right? And then it's going right to that ASIN. So all of that can link back to the same product, or different ones if you have them, but you're telling that story more, but guiding people. So if they're going in the carousel about your brand, they're gonna see dog incontinence, an older dog, let me click on it. It's going to that product, right?
Like if we were to test anything, what would you recommend?
Oh, like the PickFu?
Yeah, basically like getting into a PickFu section.
So all these things are things you want to test every single time, right?
Right.
ABC, always be testing, and that's what PickFu is about, right? So you come into PickFu, you're building a poll. So in a poll builder with PickFu, you're taking all of those different things and we're checking them. So whether it's the main hero image, the brand story module, the photo stack, it's super simple. So you're going here, if you were shopping on Amazon, which would you rather buy? You're putting our options up here. If it's open-ended, you're putting in just one option and asking for people's insight on it. If it's head-to-head, it's 2. If it's ranked, it's 3 or more. And a click test if you have a SERP and you just want to take a screenshot of it. But I think it's important to understand, Lenny, like the target audience. So for this product, there's 90 plus different traits. So the first thing we always want to affect is Amazon Prime member, because that's where we're selling it, right?
Yeah.
Now here, pet owner.
Oh, perfect.
Pet owner for a dog, right? So then also, if you have a more feminine style, for example, there's ones that are out there. Maybe you don't care about guys, what they think, because that's not your customer avatar.
Yep.
So you drill down through gender identity as well. Or if you're selling a premium product that's a little bit more expensive, you want to affect income, right? So we go over here.
Oh, nice.
I can go and say, well, that's not household income. So household income, personal income. So if we're targeting something that's much more expensive, we don't want to target someone that has a household income of 0 to 35K, because they're not our ideal avatar for that. So maybe something like 150 plus. Now if I go to pet, so recently purchased stuff, right? Recently purchased categories. We could even affect people that recently purchased within the pet category as well, so as pet supplies. If you're talking about people that have children, people that have multiple pets, people that, the list goes on and on and on. I think we could do even something that's, let me pull this up over here.
Yeah, I'm loving how detailed you can get with the targeting options.
Yeah. So favorite stores for beauty products, frequently purchased items. If you have kids, gaming consoles. If you have an Xbox and we care about that. How many video game players, relationship. If we're talking about only to single women, we could target single women. Reading frequency, sports players, workout types for supplements, Amazon, pay now, buy later, credit score. Maybe if we're targeting people that have great credit scores because maybe we're selling something that affects that, we can do that. Number of credit cards. So it's so many things. Beer consumption, coffee drinker.
Beer consumption. I mean, okay, I can see how that could be
home
relevant.
ownership, right? Preferred decor style. Primary source of investment, crowdfunding participant. I mean, it really gets super, super granular. AI tool users, tablet device, streaming device, car fuel type. So if you're talking about accessories for a Tesla, You don't care with the guy that drives a diesel. You want to talk about people that use electric cars because that's probably going to be a Tesla owner. So there's a lot of cool things, and typically most of these come back within about 15 minutes or less. Even ones that have higher panelists and numbers that are being submitted. The highest I've seen is about 2 hours, and that's really quick compared to like traditional old school focus groups that take weeks and weeks and weeks and thousands of dollars. Yeah, so we already have the templates built out too. So if you don't want to design your own poll, we have templates. So doing Amazon image optimization, this already has the traits baked in there for you. You just click and add the stuff. So product variant tests. So if you're looking to test different colors or different variants of your existing product. Competitor tests on Amazon, Amazon page review, product idea validation, product design iteration, even into outside things like website review, logo test. Maybe you're doing a new logo on something and you want to test it out and see. Maybe you guys are changing the name from Jungle Creations to Aspinall Creations. I'm just kidding, no. Business name test, does this resonate with your ICP? Digital ad testing. There's so many baked out templates over here. Packaging evaluation. So maybe you're changing the product packaging from something like that to maybe your box. Does this resonate better with the consumers? Does it not? Do they like the clear? Do they like anything like that? We're able to test and see. YouTube thumbnail comparison.
Ooh, I
so
like
if
that
you're
one.
on YouTube and you want to make sure that your thumbnail is getting a high CTR and resonating with your audience and subscribers, you can always test that as well. These are, people learn brand new things with PickFu on what to test. Domain name tests. Add message resonance. I've never seen that one, but you could use that one if you have that there as well. So that's just in e-com, but we also have stuff in publishing as well. So for example, if you're an author and we're talking about book cover comparison,
that's a huge one.
title comparison, description comparison, book cover feedback. So if you're writing the next Bible? I'm trying to think of the most famous book. Harry Potter, yeah. Dictionary. If you're writing the next dictionary, you want to know the cover. You want to test it because as much as people say we don't judge books by their covers, when you're buying a book, you do. So that kind of good stuff as well, and also into apps and games. So this kind of stuff, if you're coming up with a new game, a new design, character, there's endless things you can PickFu, and I encourage anyone and everyone to try one. Try one and you'll get it. It's like Oreos. You can't just have one. You're gonna have a couple more, and then you'll find yourself like me, PickFuing everything. My wife and I
I like that.
My wife and I got into an argument or a heated conversation talking about which is better, this or this.
You settled it with a PickFu.
I ended it with a PickFu. She was right.
Oh.
That's all we'll say about that.
That's fair. Well, I love all the options there. I'm actually being really excited to PickFu something, but I just actually didn't know what I want to PickFu. And so now I've got the ability to look through all these templates and get some great ideas.
Absolutely, yeah. We'd love to have you some. Actually, you know what? Let me give you the company card. You can PickFu everything on the company card, bill it to that. Oh, we're still filming. Never mind. But yeah, definitely try it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for breaking down our listing. You've pointed out some really great improvements that we can make. We are going to get on top of those and maybe we'll send it back your way and hopefully get a kind of glowing stamp of approval next time.
At least the product works. I mean, I'll say that, but yes, you definitely want to do those optimizations, but it's even better to have a quality product because you can optimize all you want, but if your product is not good, make sure your product's good. Make sure the product's good, then optimize it.
Love it. So I guess really like the takeaway here is that I had it. I lost the takeaway.
Did you lose? We'll do generative fill on your brain real quick. We'll do the generative AI. Did it come back? No.
No, I got distracted by, where is he going with this?